So in today's video I'm going to show you how to make a very basic redstone piston door. Now I've set up an example here of what I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you how to make one very similar, hopefully identical to this, but the main features are it uses two pistons, it uses sticky pistons. All it does is pushes a couple of blocks in the way. This is what it looks like from the outside. A nice doorway using quartz. And one of probably the most complex feature of this is the fact that it uses two levers, and you can use either lever to open or close it, like so. And that's a pretty cool feature, and this is what it looks like around the back. We've got a few bits of redstone either side. So over here I have a sort of aerial view of what it looks like. So this is the door side, and when it's closed I had this arch over here, and you've got to imagine the glowstone is the floor. That represents the floor in this. You see we have the piston here, and simply all it does is when you open it, it pulls the block back, opens this passageway, but when it's closed we got an archway here, and then on the inside we just have a flat wall. And of course then when you open it you can go through like that. Now the first thing I'm going to do to start building is I'm going to make my archway. So there we go, there's my door. And I'm also going to extend it off this way so that we can conceal the redstone wiring that's involved. And you can find ways to make it smaller. I've just sort of squared it off so that it looks a bit better. But obviously if you were hiding this in the wall of a cave, I mean there are better ways to do hidden doors than this. Obviously this is quite obvious that there's a doorway there. So yeah. So here we now have our doorway. This is the outside facing here, and this is going to be the inside here. And so we want our door blocks to be there, so that when you close the door, they're there, and when it's open, they're there, which means the pistons have to be behind like that. So there we go. I'm using sticky pistons, of course, so it can pull it back. In theory you could use other pistons on the other side if you didn't have slime balls available, but slime balls are very easy to get hold of now, since slimes now spawn in swamp biomes. So I'm going to bring the roof out like this. In fact, actually no, I'm going to make it one higher. And I'm going to fill in the wall around this. So when the doors open, it looks just like part of the wall, but really there's actually a door there. And I'm also going to put this here so that when the door's closed from the inside it just looks like a normal flat wall. So I'll show you one here. It just looks like a normal flat wall, but in reality all you actually need is this. But that looks kind of ugly, and also you can see this redstone from the switch outside. So I'm going to leave it like that. So if I now extend the roof out like this, and extend the walls out, so that we have ourselves a corridor. I can get rid of the excess stuff later. Obviously that's the advantage of doing it in creative. If you're doing this in survival you'd have to plan it out a bit better than I'm doing, but I don't have to worry too much. So we've now got our basic piston. In fact I'm just going to get rid of this so I can walk around easily. Now the way we're going to power these pistons is, to demonstrate quickly here, we're going to run redstone up the side of a block like that, and that will power both the bottom piston and the top piston. So we're going to do that over there. So we're going to run the redstone down here. I can't do that because the redstone is no longer facing the pistons, it's now facing over there. So I'm going to place it behind like that so that it goes up into the piston, into the pistons. And so that's the basic. You see now both of those work. And so now I can open and close the door. Obviously that's all well and good, apart from the fact I need a way to switch it. So a simple solution is to bring power lead up here. And there we go. So it's open. But once I get outside, how do I close it? I can't. It's all well and good being inside, but now what? So, just going to quickly put some lighting in and put in a floor too. So the next thing I'm going to do is put a switch on the outside. So we want the switch to be as close as we can get it to the door, because we don't want to have to walk all the way down this wall, switch a switch, walk all the way back. We want the switch to be right about here. And we can do that because we blocked off this bit here, ready for the inside of the door. So we can do this without it being obvious. So now we know where that switch is going to go. I'm actually going to put the redstone there. That's going to be the redstone that's powered when the outside switch is powered. So I'm going to put the block there and put the switch there. You see, if I switch that on, that will now power. That's good because we know it's working. And now we come to the complex redstone mechanism. Now let's say I've got two switches like this. I want to be able to use both of them to control one output. So I'm going to use what's called an XOR gate, and here's an image of it now on the screen. So I'm now going to start building it like this. So I need redstone torches on these two, on the front of here and on the front of those two. I need redstone there and there, blocks there, with redstone going up the side, torches on the front, and then one output, like that. And what I'm actually going to do is bring this output round to the front so you can see what it's doing. So there we go. Now I can use either one. Nope, I can't. Nope, sorry, I've missed something. There we go. Now I can use either one of these outputs, or sorry, either one of these inputs to switch it, and the output will be on if these two are different. So if they're both the same, for example, either way, it will be off. So that's how it works. And it's basically just inverting over and over again, and it's just one of the many logic gates. You can look up all the logic gates on the Minecraft wiki. I'll link to that in the description, because those are very useful. Just reading through it, even if you don't understand, it will give you an idea as to what you can actually use redstone for on a more complex level. So we're going to build one of these into our door, and we don't want to put it either side because that's a waste of space. So we're going to build it underneath like this. I'll show you under here what I've done. In fact, actually no, I've got a way to get in. This is the inside here. And you see this is an identical copy to what's outside. I've got one lead coming down from the inside switch into one of these inputs. I've got the outside switch coming down onto the other input. You can see the outside switch is on, the inside switch is off. Because the two are different, it outputs power, and that goes to the pistons. So if I disconnect this for the moment, and instead hollow out under here, and you can hollow out more than you're going to need. It doesn't matter if you need to fill in some of the hole that's left at the end. What I generally do is fill in as much as I can in case, for example, a creeper or something comes and blows it up, because then the hole left will possibly damage some of the redstone components. So if I go outside and I work out where I want this switch to come down from. So if I say, if I want it to, I know from experience of building the previous door that I'm going to have it come down about here, because otherwise it interferes with some of the other stuff down there. Now I actually can't get down there without going round, but I'm also going to bring down this switch like this. If I make myself a way to get down like that, there's the other switch. So this is where I want one of my inputs to be. I haven't done that very well actually. Nah, I've just broken all that. Okay, well, you get the idea. Go something like that. So now that we've brought the redstone down, we're going to want to route it into one of the inputs. So there's one of them, and I'm going to put the other one here. So if you remember from previously, two redstone in the middle, got to remember those this time, I forgot those before. Torches along the front, doesn't matter if it's already lit as you're making it, and that won't make any difference. Torches there, and there's the output. So there we go, that's all complete. So I'm actually going to bring down this other switch into here, and then I can block off the bits I don't need, being careful not to damage any, being careful not to block off any redstone that needs to be there. Fill in this hole, don't need that. So there we go. There's the output. That can go up here. If I go out and finish that up. There we go. Get rid of that, don't need that. And so there we go, there's our internal mechanism. Now, I'm actually just going to neaten this up a little bit, and I'll come back to you in just a second. Now, I've actually just discovered a problem in the final stages of just neatening things up, in that when I switch off this, it keeps switching itself back on. And I think I know why that is. Here we have our redstone spiralling down, but every time this turns off, that redstone torch lights up, which is powering this block, and therefore powering that again, which then turns that torch off, which stops that, which turns it back on, blah 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 blah. It just does it over and over again, and I don't want that, so it's a very simple fix. Just move it away from the torch. And this is why redstone creations end up being so damn big and taking up so much space. I mean, you can see, the size of this for what it is. It's 2 pistons with a couple of switches. But you've got to keep everything separate from each other in order to stop it interfering. So there we go. That now works. So does that one. And we've now made a fully working door. Now you can close this up like this so that no one can see it. And as I say, if you're building it into the front of your house or a cliff face or whatever, then it won't be noticeable that there's redstone wiring or anything like that there. You can see on one side I've actually made it more compact than the other side on here. On this side I've made it slightly bigger, just purely because I haven't worried so much about space as I did on that one. But not to worry, it depends on your preference. If you've got lots and lots of space and you want to just do it as easily as possible, then you could just do it big like this. If you're tight on space, you can just try and neaten it down as much as possible. And there we go. So that's a basic redstone door. I'm planning to show in a couple of videos time how to make a more complex one which is hidden. And I mean, this technique of these pistons pushing to either side can actually be extended to make these ones pull to the side as well, if you have the time and the patience to do that. But I'll show you similar designs in future episodes. So thank you very much for watching.